My name is Tony Liu, and I am here with the previous horticulturist at the Candida building. And well, could you tell me a little bit more about your role on campus?
Sure. Well, right now I'm one of the campus sustainability managers, program managers. I've started that role last June, so I'm coming up on my first year. Previously, I was the horticulturalist here at the Candida building for about the last 4 years, and before that, for about 3 years, I was the supervisor of West Campus. So basically everything from Atlantic West, including the Student Center, CLEF, CRC. So that's my story here at Tech so far.
Wow, you cover like a lot of ground. That's a lot bigger of an area than I imagined. But what does the Candida building specifically like mean to you, or like how does it contribute to the campus culture?
Sure. Now, the important thing to remember about the Candida building is that it's a research building. So we did things in this building that you would not expect to see anywhere else on campus, because we're trying to see whether these ideas work or not. Some of them worked really, really well, like our solar panels. Some of them didn't work as anticipated, and but that's the whole purpose of research, right? To see what works and what doesn't. The idea was to test these things here at this building, and if they worked, move them across campus. And we've had some things that worked really, really well, like I said, the solar panels, but also our interaction with technology, in particular supporting AV and that kind of thing in the classrooms. And we were able to get things squared away here in such a fashion that translated to other classrooms across campus in terms of their AV challenges, and they were able to help solve those issues through what they learned here.
Yeah, wow, that's really cool. You were probably my first point of contact for sustainability around campus through the Ivy Pool Challenge, and that kind of got me interested in what other ways students can get involved with sustainability or just the campus in general.
Well, you know, I love the Ivy Poll, and the whole idea of the Ivy Poll was to find a restoration project here on campus, focusing on ecology, focusing on native species. And I knew that there was a desire on the part of students to do hands-on projects, but it's complicated because, you know, you have to drive someplace or you have to coordinate all of that. This was a very easy project to kind of stand up because it's right here on campus. It's just right across the street from the Candida building, actually. And I have to say, I had great student partners. And so they really carried the load, making sure everything happened, coordinating with other volunteers, because this has been going on. We're going into our 5th year, which we always knew it was going to be hard and time-consuming, but we're getting close to the end with the ivy. We've got some other invasive non-natives that we need to address, but then we'll start plugging in more of the native plants that are no longer present. And, you know, in terms of that, we'll do research as a team, and if there are certain plants that students really, really want to see come back, we'll focus on those first.
Are there any like wildlife species or plant species that students should be aware of, either for their invasiveness or for conservation's sake?
Sure. Like, so invasive species tend to be plants that were cheap in the market, and you got to remember that most buildings are landscaped after the building is complete, and so you landscape whatever budget is left. So if you didn't put that money aside, then you are stuck with these really cheap plants that might look good and might even prosper here in Georgia, but the fact of the matter is they outcompete our other plants, and they don't fill a biological need within our community. And when I say that, I mean a plant should support the insects within the community, just as the insects then support the bird life. And all of those things are connected. So if you do not have native plants in your landscape, then you're not going to have the native insects in your landscape. And then that's, of course, connected to the birds. So, you know, you've got to be very thoughtful about how you do this. And that's what we want to encourage with the ivy pole. It's just slowing down, take your time, be careful of your step, know your plants, and be consistent, because the ivy pole, as I said, has been going on 4 years. We've made remarkable progress, but that ivy grows like crazy during the summer. So, you know, we spend the first part of fall recouping what happened over the summer, and then we start making progress. And it's especially exciting after the leaves fall, because you can really tell the invasive non-natives. And it gives us a chance to talk to students about the role of each of the plants, about the threats of each of the different invasive non-natives, and then also the role that our natives play in terms of, supporting all of the other things that happen within the environment.
Yeah. Okay, I see. Yeah, I spoke with you yesterday, and you mentioned how everything's connected. And if you ever get to speak with Steve, he really lives by that professionally and personally. Really amazing person to meet. But I will hand the mic off to you if you have any final thoughts for the camera.
My final thought is that I want to see you here at Candida, either in the garden or at the ivy pole. The garden we do every Tuesday, and you have to check in with SOS. They lead the undergraduate work, and SOS is an awesome organization. If you're looking for something to do, they're plugged into environmental issues across campus. And I'm particularly proud of them. I am also their campus sponsor, so I support them in any way I can. But, you know, find a way to get involved. What do you like to do? And see if there's not an organization here on campus that is doing that. And find those folks that think and operate the way you do. You know, it's a great time to decide what's important for you, what's important to you, how you want to interact with those things, and you know what you want your 4 years here at Tech to look like. You know, you came here with maybe certain ideas and certain visions. Hopefully you've completed those visions or come close to fulfilling those visions at the end of your time. But I'm going to ask you, what did you leave behind? And hopefully, just like the ivy pole, just like these other things on campus, you'll be able to come back and say, you know, I did get this great degree and this great experience here at Tech, but I also aided in the environmental restoration of a highly fractured urban site. And I've got to say, you know, I'm so proud of Georgia Tech in terms of the Eco Commons and how that's going to look across campus for the next 10 years. So I'm very excited, and if I could say anything, I would say be involved. Make your voice heard. Let us know what you want to see, because this is your campus too. So, yeah, I think, Tony, that's about it.
Well, yeah, like Steve said, get involved, come to Candida, say hi to him, and yeah, thank you so much, Steve.
Yep, sure thing, Tony. My pleasure.
Awesome.